I'm Nick, and this is Kenny. We're the Malt Vault. Strap on.
I could really go for a beer.
Cool. Okay, ready? We good? All right. So welcome back.
Nick, one fist away.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, you were like eating it.
Sorry.
You're good.
So,
Okay.
Welcome back, friends.
no, yeah. Welcome back,
one-
friends. This is Nick. This is Kenny, and our producer, Seth, over there, drinking his nice, refreshing, cold Budweiser.
King of beers.
We are here today to enjoy Anheuser-Busch, all of its lore and controversy.
Yeah, I'll start
Past and present. Go ahead,
let
Seth.
me, I'll just jump into the facts about the beer and what it's made of. So, King of Beers, 2.61 out of 5 on Untapped. 1876 release date, 5% ABV. Allegedly started with an 18 IBU and changed to 12 later on. And it's got barley malt, rice, yeast, and hops. 145 calories. Also on the docket, Bud Light. So we're going down in rating here. 2.33 on Untapped. 82 release date. That's 1982. 4.2% ABV, 10 IBU. Barley malt, rice, hops, 110 calories. And then the lightest of them all, Natural Light, 2.14 on Untapped. 1977 release date. So it came out before Bud Light. 4.2 ABV, so even lighter. 10 IBU, same as Bud Light. Barley malt, cereal grains, yeast, hops, 95 calories. Over to you, boys.
Nice. It's American pastime, right? Baseball, hot dogs, Budweiser.
Ballpark.
It's they hit the marketing grand slam, getting into the sporting events and arenas, and everything was Budweiser in the 80s, right? So
Yeah.
That's what I'm told.
yeah,
Yeah,
I wasn't
allowed to
there.
drink
I wasn't
back then.
there, but
If you talk about the early 90s, then I might have been there.
Yeah, I didn't have an uncle when I was 2 who was able to.
Sneak me in booze.
I wish.
I don't know. Nick always preferred Miller when he was a child, so
Yeah,
We'll
preferred.
see.
I had one sip of Miller when I was 5 years old.
He was-
Let's pretend like I was a drunk.
He was the tastemaker of our friend group, I would say.
Yeah.
taste something.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. Well, I can jump into the founder's history, or we can go another direction.
Yeah, let's start history, and then
Yeah,
we'll
let's
get.
go history.
I mean, there's a speckled past there. Lots of
Spoiler alert, we
Lots of
will
stuff.
get into what is known as the biggest controversy
Of
that
Nick-
you all know about with Anheuser-Busch. Take it away, Seth.
Okay. Founder's history. So 1864. I'm reading this verbatim, or at least I think I copied and pasted this correctly. Story begins 2 German immigrants who had big entrepreneurial ambitions. That was tough for me. So Eberhard Anheuser and Adolphus Busch. Those are pretty sick names. Coming over from Germany. So
always.
yeah, Anheuser was the father-in-law, Adolphus Busch, son-in-law. So 1842, they came over. Eberhard was a German soap maker. It's probably a Fight Club reference in there, but we don't talk about that for sure. He was a major creditor of the Bavarian Brewing Company, a struggling brewery founded in 1853. All right, this is getting pretty boring, so I'm going to try to read quickly. So he bought that brewery when they had some financial difficulty, so that was his first foray, and he changed the name to his name. One quick anecdote about his son-in-law. So Adolphus Busch actually married his daughter. So there's Lily, who was his daughter. They had a double wedding, which I don't know. You guys been to one of
pretty
those?
rare. 2 brothers marrying 2 sisters. He didn't marry his own daughter. He married
I've seen movies
He married,
with double marriages. But
Anheuser's daughter, right?
Yeah,
Bush
they-
married Anheuser's daughter and became
it's a
his
hell of
son-in-law.
a way to save on money.
Right?
They crossbred on that one.
Tell
I
you one
guess.
thing, they did not have banquet beer there.
It just depends on who says the nuptials first, because at some point you're marrying your sister-in-law.
Yeah, it's a tough look
One
for
of
sure.
them. One of them is. Yeah, the second one loses on that.
You're marrying family, but
Yeah.
one of the women's name was Anna Anheuser. That's a sick name. That's an all-time name.
Annie Heiser, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anheuser.
I don't know. I mean, do we want to linger on any of that before I get into Adolphus?
No, we'll just leave that little.
No,
Tidbit.
you said so, but Adolphus is Busch, right? So
Yep, Adolphus Busch.
Anheuser passed away quickly.
1880.
Okay, so
Of high fever?
I don't have the death details on that one.
Okay.
gotcha.
I was just wondering if that was like
Common thing.
the common thing between brewers. Get the high fever.
Yeah, they kind of pass it around.
It is pretty common from people from the 1800s.
Good thing
to
it
die.
wasn't cirrhosis. Or did they have cirrhosis at the time? Did he drink his own brand?
I am unsure.
Do you think brewers like got lit with their own beer nonstop?
You don't get high on your own supply, I don't think. I will say something
I think
happened at that
that's-
wedding because I believe that everyone that was at that wedding is dead now. So like that's something went down.
Do you think that beer was free at the wedding? I mean, like they always say there's no such thing as a free lunch, but I have a feeling there's a such thing as a free beer, right?
I like
We've
where
all
it's
had a
at.
free beer.
We've had many free beers in our life.
If your last name's Anheuser or Busch, you should never pay for a beer.
Oh, definitely not.
There was at least free soap.
You also probably never make a beer.
I'm changing my name for the
That's-
implication.
That's cheating.
Yeah.
All right, so go into, you said Adolphus.
Adolphus Busch, 21st of 22 children. Would like to meet the mother, but as you said, she's dead.
Yeah, well, I don't blame her.
Yeah. Well, you'll have that on some of these big jobs.
22 kids.
So Bush, his
It's
brothers.
like a warp tunnel. That's not a birth.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that.
Talk about Teamsters.
They have their own union and football team.
So he came over at age 18 with three of his brothers. And what am I trying to say here?
From Germany.
From Germany.
immigrants.
Yeah, came to St. Louis because, as we all know, as big beer guys, it was home to many Germans, so the beer market was large. And I think that's just a known thing that Germans like beer. I guess you're just allowed to say that.
I think
Yeah,
all Europeans really like beer. I don't know a European that doesn't like beer, except for Italians. They like wine.
I believe it's pronounced Italian.
That's also very stereotypical.
This isn't Borat.
Yeah, when I did go to Germany, everybody was drinking beer all the time.
I will say
They drink
they
it
probably
warm, too,
they probably
don't
wouldn't
they?
like this beer though.
Yeah, it's a tough look for these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
is this an American beer now, or is this do you call this a German import? How does that work?
No, this is American ale, right?
From a German guy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Where was
Where's
what
the
was the other
line?
guy's name from? Carl Conrad,
Oh,
right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
this was his recipe.
Yeah, let me control F on that.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
Didn't mean
So
to jump ahead.
yeah, 18. Let me jump ahead to 1866. So working alongside St. Louis bottler. It's a bottler.
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 Carl Conrad developed a
Carl
lighter,
Conrad.
thirst-quenching lager and called it Budweiser. So yeah, the Budweiser guys didn't actually have this at first. Carl Conrad held a trademark for the name, and Budweiser had Anheuser-Busch manufacture it for him. And then when Conrad, I guess he fell upon hard times, went bankrupt, Adolphus bought the rights to Budweiser. So that was 1882. Basically present day.
Kicked him while he was down. 1882.
Yep. Do you have other
The
things?
start of the Industrial
No,
Revolution.
I just pulled out a picture of Carl Conrad. He's kind of a badass looking dude. Everyone should Google it because I don't have the ability to.
Is that the original Soul Patch?
I mean, it's a whole like
What is
biker
that?
goatee. That's like the
It's
Jax.
like he's got a ferret on his chin.
It's like the Jax Teller.
Please, if you're at home or you're on your phone, which you probably are because we're Americans,
Especially if you're
in
driving.
22nd century. 21st century?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're American in the 21st century, you have your phone on you. So you need to do yourself a service and look up this Conrad dude because
He's the one that made
that is
the,
a very progressive chin strap he's got going on.
it's not chin strap. He's the one that made the Budweiser recipe that we're all
Fond of.
familiar. Well, I'm not. Yeah, we're getting there.
Well, yeah. Aside
Familiar with.
from the 18 IBU piece, so they had to. At some point when they released Bud Light, they found out that people, at least in this market segment, I don't know. I feel like a marketing person right now. They discovered that people preferred something less bitter and easier to drink, so they switched it from 18 to 12 IBUs.
Make it. Yeah, it's like water.
That was pretty revolutionary too.
When
When it came out in the Industrial Revolution,
this was like,
some people were fixing the way that we make things, and they were like, "Well, we can do that too. Let's make our beer better."
yeah, I guess just self improvement with beer.
I definitely get the vibe that Budweiser as a brand is kind of, not just Budweiser, but Anheuser-Busch products are kind of on a decline for the last, since their heyday, imagine, right?
For the last 3 days.
No, I'm saying long term, not even current events excluded, like probably from, I don't know, the commercials we were just watching.
Like the 90s.
Yeah, like the 90s
Real
hype.
Man of
2000,
Genius.
yeah.
Budweiser, the frogs from the Super Bowl.
I mean, what's their marketing budget?
So I don't have their full budget, but I do see that just in 10 years, so what, 2002 to 2011, so that doesn't even include the 2010s, just, 2002 to 2011, so 9 years, they spent $246 million only on Super Bowl commercials. So that's insane. I don't know what that is compared to other companies, but I could look up like what Budweiser's
Like marketing rankings,
Yeah, you think that we could probably get
like $10.
a quarter second of a Super Bowl commercial? You think it'd be worth it?
I don't think we could.
We just had one frame.
We just
one frame.
We'd be better off paying off the editing guy in the booth, like to put
something on the prompter.
put our picture up real quick or something.
For the love of God, anything you put on the prompter, Ron Burgundy will read.
It's basically Fight Club where we just spliced in our logo.
Man, ad spending.
Like a subliminal
of
message.
2021. All right, so 2021. Yeah, I'll allow all those cookies. Oh, this is interesting. So Constellation Brands had the highest marketing in millions of dollars, which includes Corona and Modelo, which are now owned by Anheuser-Busch. So they just took over the number one advertising spending. They're big spenders on the marketing. Anheuser-Busch was $327 million a year in 2021, which is more than double of the next in line, which was Molson Coors, and then Heineken, then Sam Adams. So they're top of the line, and then I believe they purchased Constellation Brands, which is Corona and Modelo, which is interesting because I don't know the last time I saw a Modelo commercial.
I think you need to explain this to me in terms of the military-industrial complex of the United States, where we always have America versus the next six armies.
It's pretty similar. Yeah. I mean, Budweiser is American military and everyone else is Algeria. Yeah.
Comparative to like the
Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miller Coors is Italy and we're America as far as military spending.
Yeah.
Budweiser is at least, or not Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch.
It's like an arms race, but just with beer.
Was there a beer cold war? We should manufacture one.
Would it be a warm war though? Because beer is supposed to be cold.
You just got to go opposites.
Hot war?
They attract.
Lukewarm war?
I don't know where we're going with this.
We don't either.
Yeah. The jacuzzi wars.
So yeah,
Nick's still trying.
Sauna wars.
Yeah, that's dry though.
Shout out Nick.
We could just do all of the non-alcoholic Bevos.
So Adolphus, let's swing back real quick.
Oh boy, yeah.
So Adolphus, you brought this to my attention. Adolphus Busch, one of the co-founders, he called the beer that they actually made Dot Schlop, which translates to the slop, and he preferred to drink wine and did not enjoy his drink. And it says St. Louis beer drinkers were not fans of the drink in the late 1800s either.
Well, I think
so. So no one has ever liked this beer.
I mean, you get a little credence when you have 21 other siblings to talk some shit.
But he only came with 3 of them, right?
Yeah, well, the others they stayed native.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. Maybe they came later.
Yeah. They paid bars in the city to serve this stuff for them, so the bars didn't pay for the beer necessarily.
I just want to get exposure.
That's what I'm talking about.
Then there's a big scoop.
Original marketing. Let's pay you.
Another, obviously, a Prohibition survivor, which is a big make or break.
Yeah.
It says they survived by making Bevo, which we determined was what?
A non-alcoholic beverage or a near beer. So non-alcoholic malt beverage, rather, or near beer is brewed in the United States, was started by Anheuser-Busch in the early 2000th century. Sorry, I cannot enunciate.
2000th century?
Wow, dude. They're living in the future, bro.
20th century.
I'm having really a hard time enunciating. I apologize, everyone.
I meant to speak with you about your illiteracy. I think I'm catching a piece of it.
I did go to a local public school that gets a bad rap for English and syntax.
Alliteration, yeah. Your alliteration is...
I can read, I can't speak.
All right, what else do we have about him?
I don't have much else about Adolphus.
I've got
a
lot. Well,
get right.
So did I already talk about the city of? So the reason why St. Louis was good.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, because the German
giant
population.
cloud of
Giant cloud.
Well,
Giant cloud of crowds.
no, I meant in terms of natural resources. So they had caves. This was before refrigeration, and they had allegedly a good
That's
source
right.
of water.
Yeah, with the Mississippi River.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, they hydropower. A lot of them use that to their advantage.
I'd hate to see them use it to their disadvantage.
Yeah, they drank the hydropower. It's delicious.
It's not what I meant.
This article specifically, Budweiser had its glory days in the 1950s, when Anheuser-Busch strengthened national branding by sponsoring shows featuring Frank Sinatra, promoted beer by sponsoring sporting events and branding on stadiums. By the 1980s, Budweiser was synonymous with American culture.
So if this was the 50s, one of the easy things you would do if you were marketing was to just call everybody who doesn't drink Budweiser like a communist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
This is McCarthyism.
yeah. This is McCarthyism.
There you
at its
go.
best.
There's your Cold War.
So did they do that or not? Because if not, that's a squandered opportunity, and we should be running it back now.
Would they pick red though?
Better dead than red.
Red though.
Yeah, this is a tough look.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay, so maybe that's why.
Maybe they were the communists.
I don't like that. I don't like to think about it.
These are the things you have to open up your mind to. But
Like I said, I refuse to learn.
Yep.
no room. I get it.
Hard to unpack my emotions right now.
So the marketing is out of the fucking roof with that stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a good risk reward, like, because they're not making a lot of money. Like, they've been on a decline, like you stated.
Budweiser's not making a bunch of money.
Yeah, they just dropped 5.
Well, that
Yeah.
remains to be seen if that's a normal market fluctuation. I think. But,
Yeah,
But
COVID plays a huge role in that.
well, I would say yeah. I mean, their beer probably went up really well during COVID, right?
Yeah.
It did in my house.
Anecdotally, sample size 1.
Sample size. Well, yeah. Frank doesn't really like. He's not a Budweiser guy.
bias.
Real quick, what I see here in my compelling research, despite the outbreak of the Civil War, the brewery remained competitive, partially because lager was not banned by the Union Army, while hard liquors were.
When was this?
Civil War era?
Civil War.
They banned hard liquor.
So
I did not know
basically
that there
you
was a
can-
ban on hard liquor
Well, it just
during the
says
Civil
Union.
War.
Yeah, the Union Army did.
They
allegedly.
probably did
Damn.
too, because you had a lot of bootleggers and moonshiners down in the South.
West Virginia. Is that South?
Technically, it was South, wasn't it?
I'm drawing the line.
Virginia,
That's the South.
Virginia and South were.
This is not a Budweiser podcast unless we are contemplating if West Virginia fought for the Union or the South.
I'm still hung up on how we're the Midwest.
Yeah.
So do we have to have a go back?
Which it
No.
parlays the conversation. So
All right,
like
we're
you talk
running.
about that, right? So you talk about that, and then it brings it back up to me, and I can bring up like the European thing. I can kind of.
It sounds like Conrad basically made Budweiser their flagship brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would become their flagship brand? When his company, C. Conrad and Company, went out of business, Anheuser-Busch assumed control of it. But now Anheuser-Busch spends it as Adolphus Busch created Budweiser with his friend Conrad. And Adolphus came up with the name Budweiser.
So
Which
start with that.
It's
right?
semantics,
Start with
but-
that, and then I'll segue into like
just
the
did.
check thing.
Yeah, we're going.
We're rolling.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, so do what you're going to do.
Well, okay, so it's a good thing that you bring up the name, the Budweiser problem, because we're gonna go into like one of the biggest controversies with Budweiser. So, there is a current, there was a dispute, with a Czech beer named Budweiser Budvar, the brewery in Budweis in the Czech Republic. So,
Is it a logo controversy or a name for
trademark,
the Budweiser? Just
trademark.
Just Budweiser. The
Yeah,
name.
the trademark. So if you're in the United States, you can actually get this Czech Republic beer by Budweiser Budvar, but it's under a different name. And then when you go to Europe, you actually cannot get a Budweiser because the brewery in Budweis has exclusive rights in Europe. So if you get a Budweiser in Europe, you get a Bud. Strictly only, it's just labeled Bud. It's a very similar trademark.
This changes everything.
Yeah. So I can't. So if I went to Germany and said I want a Budweiser, they would give me this Czech beer.
The Budvar.
Yeah, because it was. Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean,
It's a state-owned brewery too, so it's not even owned privately.
It's like NPR.
Yeah, it's a state-owned brewery, and it's a pale lager. So it's funny that you say like there's a controversy over the naming of Budweiser and who owns that, because oddly enough,
Those are still
Anheuser is the immigrant from Germany, and this brewery in the Czech Republic. Let me see when it was. It was the early 20th century.
1900.
20,000th century.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Germany to the center of the earth.
This brewery dates back to 1265, but did not have that name yet. So
But it's in the town of Budweiser.
yeah.
Budweiser.
So this beer is a derivative of this Czech town, right? From 1265.
Well, the younger beer.
So it makes you wonder if perhaps, obviously, there's a controversy on who named Anheuser-Busch's Budweiser in America. What's the likelihood that what was Anheuser's first name again?
Eberhard.
Eberhard. It's possible that he stole that name, and that's where this trademark infringement came from.
Quite the accusation.
It's like a web of controversy.
Yeah, we just manufactured that one.
And here we are thinking that what happened with this recent thing was like this huge controversy, but it's just a small plot point in the history of Anheuser-Busch and controversy.
So hold on. Can you wrap that up in one sentence of what you're alleging?
Yeah, I'm saying that
One sentence.
this is a bold hot take.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Anheuser copyright infringed from a 13th century brewery to use the name Budweiser for a very popular beer in the United States. Throw a couple commas in there, boom, you got yourself a sentence.
We can run that as a headline.
Damn.
We're gonna get that out to CNN.
That's deep.
I like that.
In 2001, Bud Light took over Budweiser as the number one selling beer. So that's a good problem for Anheuser-Busch to have the top two spots.
Well, I guess a lot of people started going to college.
Yeah.
Liberal propaganda.
They got into frat houses also started in 2001 apparently, so that we're good.
Yeah, there's a correlation there.
They probably weren't drinking Budweiser, but in fact,
Natty?
Natural Light.
Well, yeah, so speaking of,
Yeah.
yeah, it was Anheuser-Busch, well, I already said this, first widely distributed light beer, originally priced at Budweiser levels. Seems like a mistake. And my last little tidbit for you is they sell a special release 77 pack, which I have yet to see.
Get yours today.
I think they only sell that on college campuses, Seth.
Oh, okay, Nick.
Does it come in a box, or do you think it's like in a giant cube?
I think it comes in a 77 pack, and I'm not sure about.
Can we get a picture of a 77 pack? Kenny, is that what you're doing right now? Oh my Lord. That looks like a giant.
It's a hexagon party
Dude,
pack.
that's legit. Can we put that up on our screen?
For all the people listening in your car,
The
you're gonna
camera's
love
Anybody
this.
that's watching can see it.
the camera's
but
not. Just Google Natty Light 77 pack. It's
That's
pretty
impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. How much is it? It's
The engineering of that cardboard box is pretty astounding.
It said last time they sold it, the 77 pack retailed for $30.
It's more impressive than going to the moon.
Did that happen?
That's
Absolutely
it's
not.
a feat of engineering. This one though is not. Oh no!
Did they have like burlap handles for that thing? 'Cause I feel like that cardboard would just disintegrate.
They haven't made it since 2019. It looks like.
Yeah,
and it was a variety pack of
Thanks
Natty
a lot,
Light,
COVID.
Natty Light, Natter Days, and Natty Ice.
It's because we lost the technology.
Yeah,
It's just gone.
it was only given to us from the aliens for so long of a time. We had to give it back.
The patent is no longer
But
pending.
let me jump on the fact. This is kind of a circle back to our boy Adolphus, how he died. So edema, 1913, after having 13 children. It's probably a bad way to go. Too much fluid. So what's the conspiracy? I mean, what was he filled? What kind of fluid was he filled with?
Didn't you say he didn't like his own brand and he just drank wine?
Yeah. Maybe it was water. Maybe he drowned. Could you get edema from water?
I'm not.
Or is that when your
drink
brain
too much
is that when your
water
brain
and get
drowns,
edema?
like floats because you drink too much stuff?
This
too
isn't
fast?
like the movie Mars Attacks. Where everybody's got
Hyponatremia.
like the giant thing and their brains just float around.
I don't know. There's something there. I mean, the guy made liquid. Well,
I don't think he made liquid. He made a concoction out of liquid.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I guess you can't create energy.
You think he fell into a vat of beer?
Yeah, he basically was the plot of Beer Fest before it was a thing.
You had to drink
So
the
he
whole
fell
vat.
in a giant pot still of brewing ale and tried to drink his way out.
Again, it all comes back to Strange Brew. That's what happens.
Yeah, we've seen it before.
Rick Moranis made it. No, Dave Thomas made it out of that one alive.
Not the Wendy's guy.
Right. The Canadian comedian. The Clydesdales need mentioned.
Yeah, they're so cool.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's what we got on
that's the end.
Clydesdales.
I mean, that's just my gut reaction. I think they're awesome. You know?
How's the rest of your body feel about them?
The table just lifted up over there.
Wow, beautiful
So-
creatures.
So, oh my. So the reason that they are synonymous with Budweiser now, I don't know what the reasoning was for this, but the Clydesdales were given to the brewery CEO in 1933 as a gift from his son, which I don't know the CEO's name at that time in 1933, but to celebrate the end of Prohibition, the CEO's son gave his dad Clydesdales to pull the beer carts. To pull his beer cart, maybe for advertising. And then, fun fact: some of those Clydesdales pulled the first beer carts to the White House to celebrate the end of Prohibition. So that was kind of cool.
That's why
I read that on here.
That's why teetotalers support glue factories.
Is there a correlation?
I just came to it.
That's fair.
I'm making
That
it.
works.
In this podcast, we make a lot of very, very affirmative statements that have
That may or may
They
not.
are all theory based.
That may or may not qualify as libel.
They don't hold water, but they might give you edema. We just still don't know how you get that.
In the words of Seth Nicholas, that dog don't hunt.
Yeah, I've been wanting to say that, and I didn't know how to work it in. So thanks, Nick.
Got you, boo.
So yeah, Clydesdales are a big thing.
Literally,
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, I've seen bigger.
I doubt that highly.
Do you think they were offended when they started using carts, like cooler trucks? They're like, oh,
Oh,
cool.
you mean like refrigerated trucks?
Yeah, they're like
Maybe.
Like they have the capacity to feel offended,
pain and yeah.
pain, and deeper emotional responses. All right, here's one for you. Who you taking? Who you picking to pull you somewhere? Clydesdales, sled dogs.
That's a loaded question. I'm gonna have to ask what the setting is. Do I get a choice? Because if I want to get somewhere with
You get a
stamina,
choice. He asked you.
I
Yeah,
would
you get a choice. It's totally you.
No, I'm
This is
talking
a
about the
pro-choice
setting
podcast.
of where we get to go. Like if I'm in the snow, I'm absolutely taking sled dogs.
No, you get Clydesdales in the snow, sled dogs on a street.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna go Clydesdales in the snow for the sheer fact that I want to hear the street grinding with my freaking sled,
You can't say grind. That's one of my triggers.
Can't say shush.
bumping and
Shush.
running. Is that
Shush.
better?
Trade and paint.
Trade. We riding for pinks.
Is that Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
That's Vincent Diesel. Put some respect on his name.
It's Sir Vincent Diesel.
Did you forget the T?
He was knighted.
Respect.
Yeah, a little respect.
Low respect.
RESPCPT. So, anyways,
I feel like
who are you
We're
taking
grinding here.
I don't.
for your real men of genius? Are you taking the penalty box door opener and closer, or are you taking Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer?
I feel like there were a lot more. Like, how many real men of genius were there?
I don't know that commercial we were watching. I think that was like 15 minutes long.
How many
And they
does-
were like 2 minutes each, so
How much did those cost?
at least 45.
Did they have the lead singer of Journey doing that in the studio? Because it felt like that was
Steve Perry.
Steve Perry going, "Real man of genius."
No one has Googled
Nice.
who sang Real Men of
Thanks.
Genius.
I matched tone really well.
The singing was done by Dave Bickler, the lead singer of the band Survivor, known for such songs as Eye of the Tiger,
Nice.
See, that had to have been expensive.
that was good.
Was a huge marketing cost because they didn't just get a random dude off the street that was brown bagging it. They were like,
Damn.
"Yo, bro, you're from Survivor. Let's hear it.
All right.
I have the tiger. Let's feed the beast."
What was his name again? Dave Bickler. Dave Bickler. So let's see what Google can do for me.
Well, I think we should get a class action going. If
I heard his cousin was arrested, Dave Tickler. For obvious
I
reasons.
think we should get a class action going about the real men of genius. If most of these guys or people weren't members of Mensa, that's a problem.
There's a whole Wikipedia page on Real Men of Genius. There's so much gold in here. Series of advertisements, primarily 60-second American radio spots. So radio spots, right?
60 seconds. A normal ad spot is 30 seconds.
Some might even
now.
call that a fucking minute.
That's a lifetime, Nick.
Bud Light beer. Co-created. The campaign began in '88 under the title Real American Heroes with 12 radio spots. But Anheuser-Busch
Glad
is
they
reported.
didn't do that. That would have offended a lot of military. Sorry.
Anheuser-Busch is reported to have spent $38 million a year broadcasting just the radio commercials.
That's insane.
So how much of that cut goes to Dave Bickler? $10 million a
He probably
year?
gets a royalty for every time it airs.
What do you spend 38 just on the radio time?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I'm just a
radio
I mean, we're recording something right now that doesn't cost us $1 million,
doesn't cost us $1.
but it definitely costs us $1.
Yeah.
That's like I can vouch for.
Yeah, don't look at me, Nick.
It doesn't say how
Write me
much
a-
he made.
Write me a check.
Interesting.
You got to take that to the big bank.
Yeah, we're anti
Semi-pro. Semi-pro.
I mean, the fact that we remember. Granted, it was a lot of commercials and for a long time, but it was a pretty sick marketing campaign.
Here's to you, Mr.
And I bet I would like to think that's where Old Spice got some of their creativity and just going off the rails with their advertisements. We have to look back on what the most off the rails advertisement stuff was and see who did the best advertising all time.
All time.
What do you mean by best? That's a very subjective term.
We're reviewing beers here. This is all subjective.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just growing up, I'm thinking fuck Quiznos subs. This thing.
Toasty.
Eat Quiznos subs because they are good for us. You remember those animal looking things with the human
huge
teeth?
eyes? Yeah.
With the human teeth.
I had to look one up recently to show somebody. I'm like, look at what they made here. This is absolute lunacy.
This was real. They showed this to children.
And now there's no more Quiznos, right?
Or the Cookie Crisp guy. That was nuts.
Cookie Crisp.
Yeah. That was scary shit.
Yeah.
I like Most Interesting Man in the World. He's pretty solid.
Tony the Tiger
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
That'd be Dos Equis. Who owns Dos Equis?
Oh, that's a good one.
We should get on that.
But
Yeah.
well, I guess what I was getting at, not trying to say that what we're doing isn't subjective, but
It's a
I'm
Mexican
thinking
company. Nice.
you could make a good solid objective argument on best marketing when it comes to cost versus earnings analysis.
I think you're looking for return on investment.
Yeah. That.
That.
Yeah, you said it so eloquently.
I don't know if that's the right term, but we'll just assume that.
Yeah.
What about Got Milk?
Yeah.
That was probably number 3 California Milk Processor Board. Nike's Just Do It.
Real quick with the Got Milk thing, it turned out when I got to college that not everybody drank milk all the time, and I was in fact a psycho for drinking milk at every meal until up into that point.
That quickly fades. That's one of those things you become an adult and you're like, oh,
Don't need
I'm not
milk
supposed to
anymore?
be drinking milk.
It's what?
It's really not that good
It's
for
you
you.
don't need 2 glasses with dinner.
We're the only mammal that drinks another mammal's milk. What? It's weird.
Yeah.
These are the things they don't tell you about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah.
Got a lot of
California
content
Milk
right now.
Processor Board. This college study said St. Bonaventure said that the most successful was the Just Do It campaign. Then the number 2 said is Pepsi okay? I don't remember that one.
What do you mean? Is it okay?
If someone said, "Can I have a Coke?" and they said, "Is Pepsi okay?"
Oh, I thought they were it's okay
don't
to not be
remember that.
okay.
Yeah. Is it okay if I have
Yeah, someone orders a Coke. I don't even
Yeah.
think you could get away with ordering a Coke in a Pepsi commercial anymore. You can't say Coke, right? Trademark infringement.
Yeah, it's like saying bomb on an airplane.
Or bomb in a podcast.
I think we're safe.
Dove, Real Beauty. I don't know. Old Spice, the Man Your Man Can Smell Like campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Is it
that.
the dude that rode the horse, the black dude that rode the horse? And
Yeah, but not Terry. What's the guy's name?
Terry Crews?
Not Terry Crews. Before that.
The other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I liked better than Terry Crews. No offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Terry Crews was in the same one with the dude. He just like blew up. Like he flexed or whatever in the shower.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Maybe they're all Terry Crews. Coca-Cola
No.
Share a Coke campaign. That's good. I did like the Coca-Cola polar bears. Those were pretty cool. And
They're gone.
Beautiful.
You can't get Santa Cokes anymore. That's now a problem.
Yeah. Thanks, global warming.
Snickers
Not
campaign.
what I was going for, but we'll go with that.
The Snickers campaign when you turn into like they had Robin Williams.
Oh, you get hangry?
Yeah. I got nothing else really.
Oh. So that's it.
Hungry, grab stickers.
The rest of these campaigns are garbage, and the company's paid to be there.
Yeah. But like I think what we're getting at
Budweiser.
is Budweiser has put a lot of money and effort into advertising. And it may or may not have paid off. I think
I think it definitely paid off.
No, I'm saying recently. I don't know that it's really necessarily paying off. Like we're talking about our 80s and 90s stuff that we can all recall, and it still holds weight. But I don't know if
You mean currently? What are they doing marketing wise?
I mean, have you watched the Super Bowl the last couple of years? There's not been as extravagant of commercials, in my opinion.
I think people don't drink beer as much anymore.
I guess we're gonna have to send Nick on a college visit and see if they're still slamming these beers. We just had a brief reprieve because we ran out of recording stuff. So
Bird flew into the camera.
yeah, but we were. It's weird because it's in a basement, but anything happens. So
It might have been a bat.
marketing campaigns.
Yeah, we were in a cave. Oh yeah,
No way of knowing if it worked out.
We're in not a cave. We're in your
they're still
kid's mother's basement.
it's actually my kid's sister's mom's basement.
Yeah, I need to see.
That's a really odd way of saying you have 3 kids.
I need to see a chart.
It's my son's grandma's daughter's basement.
Every time it's some different basement with this guy.
Yeah, I'm all about basements. Anyways,
Well,
I think it worked out. Their marketing obviously they're making some questionable choices that are controversial on their face. Apparently, we won't get into it much, but
except for right now when we will.
no, I'm just saying their marketing has come a different. They've taken different routes. They're not campaigning as hard. I don't think they don't have like the frog thing, right?
Yeah, the Budweiser.
They did that for years, and it was always funny. The Clydesdales are common, like they did the traditional America, the dog and the Clydesdale that find each other. Mm-hmm. And then after September 11th, they both like kneel, like they had the Clydesdale kneel at the World Trade Center memorial thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Tell me a Clydesdale can kneel, but some football players can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
they didn't. They probably would have kneeled for September 11th.
Okay, you're right.
I would hope.
That's on me. Continue.
So, no, that we haven't seen their new campaign yet, I guess is what I'm saying.
Like a poster child type of situation.
I don't know.
A big centric subject.
They're trying to refine themselves, redefine themselves now, and I don't know what it's going to be. So it'll be interesting.
I mean, they're definitely in tricky waters right now with everything that's going on currently. So we'll see.
I think they'll be okay.
I think they'll be okay.
That they'll get through it
financially. I think they're okay, but I think they're probably behind closed doors, really struggling to come up with something to kind of distract from that.
Yeah, like behind closed closet doors, they're probably trying to find themselves or whatever.
Yeah, or find somebody else.
Kind of like a teenager going through puberty.
Like, why are we all in this closet?
Sometimes you find
Someone
yourself.
open this door.
Maybe you're at a high school party.
Yeah, for 7 minutes.
Oh,
Was that you?
They never need a visual.
Were you there?
Yeah, I'd remember that mouth.
There was 6 of us. So.
That was a Kiss reference, not anything weird.
The band.
Yeah, I love that song.
I see what you said. That was a Kiss reference.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, Dad. Sorry.
You kissed him too?
All right.
Damn.
He told me not to. Never mind.
Yikes.
That's.
Why do we always get
Did
back
everything
to
in
everything gets back to
everything
this?
in that closet pertain to trouble, risk?
It was the game Are you saying it was the game
Yeah,
closet?
risk, trouble.
Yeah. Risky.
Hopefully not operation.
No. Yeah.
So, yeah. Is the current dip? Is this call for a boycott going to be successful? Is Budweiser going to have to address the elephant in the room on a better scale than their CEO just did? And is there going to be enough pushback from American people to make big companies this is this is probably the biggest beer company right in America. Is it going to be big enough for them to have to come out and say something to correct their market fluctuation kind of thing that's going on? So that remains to be seen, and it'll be a fun ride. Maybe their beer will get cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, could this, I'm sure they have data scientists on retainer. And
For sure.
They've run a bunch of models and calculated what their loss would be if they did whatever campaign. And maybe it's a long-term
sustainable loss or not.
Yeah. And is any type of advertisement, is that good advertisement? I don't know. I just run a very successsul podcast here, so I can't speak to.
I'd love to listen to that.
We cannot speak on
I'd love to listen to that when we're done with this podcast. So.
Yeah.
Just a humble podcaster.
You're welcome to let us know on our Twitter handle, which we'll tell you later.
When we make it.
Yeah, at us at
drop a like in the comments. Right? Isn't that what people say?
Yeah.
But the issue for Budweiser is there are other options right now, so people are going to could turn to other. I mean, this is the marketing is what sells this, right? This doesn't taste amazing. This is Bud Light. It doesn't taste outstanding.
Well,
this is Bud Light.
You give me Bud Light.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're out of the Budweiser.
You might say that this is just a microcosm for Budweiser in general. Like Budweiser started off, they were the full-bodied beer, and then they changed who they were to become this other type of
American lager that's palatable to anyone who can stomach drinking a beer.
Yeah, by changing from 18 to 12, they wanted to.
I'm sure if we drank 100 Budweiser, it'd taste like dog, like shit.
Nick, I will not advocate for changing the age of consent to 18 to 12. You're on your own on that one.
The IBUs.
I was talking about the IBUs.
Yeah, so
I'm a father of 2 daughters.
Is it a substantial shift in the face of Budweiser, or is this just a speed bump? Big companies do fail occasionally. Is this the beginning and the end, or is this just a bump and they'll get past it and it'll just be like nothing happened?
Yeah,
I feel like financial institutions will get a bailout.
Related to this?
Companies.
Oh, unrelated to this.
Unrelated.
Yeah, beer companies probably won't. They can definitely fail.
They should get bailed out.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's not my money. Why not?
What's sad is most American people would probably say that we should bail out Budweiser if something happened, but not a bank or a GM.
Damn, I need to run that platform. Like, if your beer goes under, I will help bail it out, and you can count on that.
Also, I will conveniently sell and rebuy my stocks in that said beer company at the right time to make myself a few mil, Paul Pelosi style. We're not talking politics.
Well, yeah, we don't. This is a non-politics podcast.
You guys can talk about it,
but yeah, can't get the. Never mind.
Pandora doesn't go back in the box.
Oh, old beer reference.
I got nothing else.
Yeah, I think. Do we want to?
Although, if anyone's got an extra 77 pack of Natty Light, at me.
Yeah, you have to ship
at our Twitter handle to be determined.
No, ship it to this basement. Give your basement address. Sorry, your wife's kid's sister.
How do you address the basement? Negative.
Attention.
Negative
basement.
Address number.
It's below ground.
Just do attention basement and then put this address so that whoever delivers it knows to go through the egress window.
Either way, I'm 6 feet under, so.
If you address something to a basement, it's definitely going to somebody who uses 4chan. You guys don't.
Is it a bad idea for
4chan?
Is it bad for me to say that I don't know what 4chan is?
Yeah. If you know, you know. That's about where it is.
All right. Well,
that was Alex Ford's basement.
Guess I missed that boat.
That was another basement adventure.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing to have missed that one.
See, here's just recycling. On June 2019, in June 2019, Anheuser-Busch resurrected a new version of ad campaigns for the social media age called Internet Heroes of Genius, which run on streaming audio platforms. So they're just kind of recycling ideas now. Like, You know what I mean? Like, you need something more original, and I think they've run out of it.
I think
they gave them something pretty original, I guess. But
I feel like Seth's probably right, where they have people that are doing analysis on like loss and gain with what they're about to market, and they're probably not willing to take a big risk on something right now.
Yeah.
And put a lot of money into it, especially with the economy where it's transitioning, you know? So, like, we might have to wait a little bit before we see, like, something original come out. I think your point is valid, Kenny.
Well, they're
looking for something original. They're recycling stuff right now because it keeps them as status quo as opposed to doing something revolutionary like they've done in the past.
What? Didn't they just do something completely different than
And
what
now
they've
for
ever
something
done?
completely different.
Yeah.
Is it Monty Python?
Yeah.
I
I would say what they just did was out of.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're saying behind closed doors. They might say, you know, this reaches a different demographic,
and we don't even
doesn't
know.
Cost us a lot of money from our usual supporters because they're counting on a lot of people that probably don't follow social media and stuff like that.
I think beer in general is struggling. I think that I don't even think this was a strategized market campaign. I think this was like a couple people that did something and then they're kind of like, well, maybe that'll work out. Maybe it won't. We'll see.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, though, is everywhere. In 2006, Anheuser-Busch sponsored a comedy tour titled Real Men of Comedy, starring John Heffron, Joe Rogan, and Charlie Murphy. 2006. This guy's been making millions of dollars since I was in diapers.
That's a great trio.
Yeah.
John Heffron from like Last Comic Standing, right?
Yeah. Who's Charlie Murphy? Oh, Charlie Murphy. There's this picture.
Yeah.
I know him.
Charlie Murphy, I'm sorry.
Chappelle. She's from Chappelle Show.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Did he die?
Yeah.
Chappelle or Charlie Murphy?
Charlie Murphy.
Oh, that sucks.
Charles Murphy. Put some respect on his name.
But it looks like funding was pulled for the Real Men of Genius commercials in 2008.
It's too controversial.
They didn't like. Yeah, it says they were reluctant to air the ads originally because of their irreverent style. Consumer testing proved them to be popular. They were very popular. Won more of 100 awards. The Cannes International Advertising Festivals. They were never officially canceled, but the funding was cut. And then InBev basically took over Anheuser-Busch because of all of it, because of the fall of their campaign.
It's like the fall of Rome.
That's what happens.
You get too big.
For your britches and your riches.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, friends. I think this has been a successful discussion. If you have any questions, keep them to yourself. Have a good day.